Hi, I'm Tony Twitchett from Taxi Dining Room. Welcome to the Great Chefs program. I hope you enjoy your meal. Well, I've been executive chef for the last 10 months. So I started here at Taxi in 2004 at the age of 26 as head chef for Michael Lambie. Michael Lambie was the head chef, executive chef. I worked as head chef here till the end of 2009, and then for 2010 I went over to Hawthorn and I opened up the Barker's Hotel. So we ran that for 12 months. And then I was privileged enough to be able to come back as executive chef at Taxi Diner and take off the reins from Michael Lambie. I'm definitely a workaholic. It goes really well with being a chef because even my wife complains a little bit about how much I'm here. I'm very energetic, very passionate about food, and also I'm quite a fair person. So I find that being the leader of a kitchen, people find that they follow along quite easily. Well, I've got 19 chefs, 20 including me. I've got a head chef, I've got 2 sous chefs. From there, I've got 4 chef de parties, and then we break it down into the apprentices. So we've got a great brigade because we are a 7-day operation. We're open lunch and dinner. We like to have a good rotation, so a little bit less of the old days where we're not doing 90 hours a week. We're actually sort of tamed it into about 50-55 hours, so everyone actually gets quite refreshed. Everyone gets 2 days off. And if you're lucky enough, you might even get a night off throughout the week. Well, Taxi's definitely, it's sort of changed a little bit in the last 10 months since I've come back. I've really sort of put my own brand on it. I've made it really sort of Asian with European techniques. My background as an apprentice, I did all my training at Stokehouse, so I used all the European techniques, French cookery. And then from there, I expanded, went over to Thailand and travelled through Asia, and I found a love for the Asian cuisine and found a love for the Asian flavours. So I've come back here in the last 10 months and I've up to my 4th menu that I've done here at Taxi in the last 10 months. And it's really bold flavours, quite a lot of fish sauce, naan pricks. We're using dried shrimps and lots of nuts to make a lot of texture on the actual dishes. So you definitely say I've got a huge Asian influence, and the flavours are quite bold, but in a twist, in the kitchen we've got a lot of European cooking techniques. So I think it's quite unique and it works really well. Earliest food memories would be probably when I was, because I'm from the country, so my family's grown up in northeast Victoria in a little village called Kigunya. But we used to come down and visit my nan and pop in Richmond, and I think I would have been 4, and it was a hot Christmas in Melbourne. My pop took me to South Melbourne Market and we bought like a mound full of seafood. So we had prawns, we had crayfish, we had oysters. And as a young boy coming from the country, which is up in the mainlands, where seafood's very rare, to have all that seafood, I think that stands out as one of the, and especially we had all the family there, so there's 15 of us all chowing down on all this fresh seafood that we bought from the market. So being in the kitchen, we actually start, you're in there at 8 in the morning, you have a coffee, you start talking, you pull out the fish, you start filleting the fish, you start talking to them about how the best quality of fish is, and you just teach. And that's the best way to train people, is actually standing there, holding the produce and explaining it to them. So I think that's probably the best thing for great chefs dinner, is when you get great chefs in there with the trainees and explaining to them personally what to look for and how to judge produce that's coming through the back door. Well, I mean, definitely right now in the last 12 months with so many restaurants opening and going with the no bookings, going casual dining, shared food, I mean, I believe that's definitely going to be an influence further on down the track. Everyone's sort of gone for the more casual approach. I don't think it's going to be sustainable for a long period of time. A lot of people will come back to a set restaurant where we have linen on the tables, we have a set service, we do entree, main, dessert. I mean, it's been a classical way of actually dining. The French came up with it years ago, and it hasn't gone out of trend. So I do believe people will always come back to the set routine of dining out and really enjoying an entree and then a main, then a dessert. So I think the way of the future is definitely we're going to have a trend of casual fine dining. We're going to have a lot of bars with food, which will do a lot of sharing, but I think that's where that will sort of end up. There'll be bars with food, and restaurants will still stay restaurants, where we have a real set structure. And another thing that's coming in quite a lot at the moment is degustation. So, and chefs love doing degustation. We do a 7-course and a 9-course here at Taxi, and it's a really good way to express and actually to get food across that you really want the customer to eat. So without the customer choosing what they want to have, we actually design a menu for them, and we get to actually produce some food that we think you should be eating. So that's going to be definitely high up in the ranks in the coming years.